They don't know about nothing,
Yep.
which is sad.
Yeah.
Like I was watching Jay Leno jaywalking, and they're like, what is Newton's law of gravity? You know, and it's E equal or whatever.
Yeah, what comes up must come down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny, he's like, I don't know, dude. And it was on his t-shirt. It was on his shirt.
Really?
Yeah. And he kept on doing that with a lot of people, you know. And what was it? There were so many things. It was like common sense would tell you that we don't have the highest educated people in the country.
Not very much, yeah, because they like we've used the example before with this past presidential election.
Yeah.
People voted for Barack Obama because he was the cool guy, the star of the show. And on voting day, they actually went to some of the polls and talked to the people in line. And for instance, they asked this one lady. They said, do you like, did you vote for Barack Obama? She said, yeah. And they said, well, if he gets
let's role play this, okay?
Yeah. Did you vote for Barack Obama?
Yes. We want change.
Yeah. You think he's going to be a great president?
I think he's going to do great.
Now, if he does get elected, do you think that Hillary Clinton is going to make a good vice president?
Yes. I think he's.
Okay. Yeah. So a simple question like that. Hillary Clinton was not his running mate. She was running against him.
Yeah.
And these people were like, yeah, she's going to make a great vice president.
Now ask me, and I put you in that role play. Oh, so you think Barack Obama's great, right?
I think he's awesome. That's why I voted for him.
You voted for him. And keep in mind, this is not to pick on any race or anything. This is common sense. I don't care if it was Mexican, white, or any other case. This is the puppet, okay? Yeah. So you voted for Barack Obama, right?
I did, yes.
Now, what type of policies does he have?
Well, he wants change. He just wants change. Yeah.
But I bet you know his wife's name, huh?
Yeah, Michelle. Yeah.
Yeah, and his kids and all that.
Oh yeah.
But what school did he go to?
What school did he go to? I don't think I heard that one. I don't remember that.
But you probably see that he's a Muslim terrorist, right?
Yeah, I've heard that he's a Muslim. He admitted to being Muslim, but he's trying to hide it. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
See, and media likes to portray stuff that gets you off the subject. I don't care if he's Muslim, Christian, Catholic, whatever. Who cares about that? Yeah. I want to know that if he's going to do good for our country.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. It doesn't matter what he does or where he went or whatever. Yeah. It's what he does for the country.
It doesn't make sense. And people to this day still think that he's great. I don't know. I don't give it. I don't care what the situation's going to be. Yeah. I'm going to cuss right now. But I think it gets to the point where you got to be outspoken.
Yeah.
I plan to be outspoken in the coming months, and I'll let you know that in the coming months. But I think it gets to the point where you have to decide for yourself what's great for your family.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't, guess what? You're just gonna be following the line. Yeah. It's common sense, and we're getting out to we're talking about other subjects too. But if you think about this, people say, "Well, we're in such a huge recession, depression, and all that." Okay, now the thing is. What was the first stock market crash?
The very first, with the big one, 1929. 1929,
and it was segmented until 34, and what's that about it? And they said, we got out of it strong, we did great. People don't realize that, what is welfare there for?
Yeah. That's when a lot of the stuff was implemented, and it's
the blue chips.
Yeah, it still continues to this day. Actually,
they were called stamps back then, not food stamps. Stamps.
Yeah, stamps.
Yeah, and people don't realize that from that we had this.
Yep.
And I'm not saying nothing bad, but to tell you the truth, if you think about this logically and study for yourself. If you're watching this video and you're actually staying to this video, then you must be smart enough to know that. Keep this in mind. Now. When a person comes from college, okay, I got my education, I'm going to go get a great job. But what did I incur when I went to college?
A bunch of debt.
A bunch of debt. So now my credit's going to get jacked up unless I get
a lower end job instead of the job that I should be getting with my degree I just spent all this money on getting.
So it doesn't make sense that, well, I got all this education and then I see half of my friends, and I'm not going to mention no names, but they're working at regular places that they have great degrees, and they're working at regular places. They said, dude, I had to take care of this before I ruin my credit.
Yeah, like that. There's a Michael Moore movie, Sicko.
Sicko, yeah.
They interviewed. They're just at some college, just talking to this sophomore in college, and he said that he personally had already incurred $30,000 in debt, and he was barely in his second year. So, just taking that, with math and doubling that, because 2 more years to go. Let's say he's $60,000 in debt by the time he gets out. So when he gets out, he's got $60,000 worth of debt that he has to pay off. So what does he do? He looks for a job, I have this degree, I'm looking for this job, and no job openings because everybody else has the same degree as me. So this job's open, but this is where I wanted to be, and this is where I'm going to have to be. But I have to be here, so I can just pay off that $60,000. And I've heard that a $5,000 credit card debt will take you 19 years or for however long it is to take to pay it off with interest and everything. $5,000, it takes you years to pay off. So that is $60,000.
Yeah, imagine that. And here's the thing is, I don't know how many people get in that self position and then they never achieve nothing. And I don't know how many people, I'm not going to mention no names, but I don't know how many people actually come from Fresno, Visalia, Bakersfield to work here.
In Hanford.
At a $10 an hour job.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's how bad it is.
Yep.
And people don't realize that.
No, they don't. They take it for granted.
Yeah. It's like I tell people, they say, Francisco or Jeremy, why are you so always happy? Why are you happy-go-lucky? I'm spiritual, you're spiritual. But the other thing is, you know what? It's better than working out in the field, or it's better than being in a third world country.
Yeah, for sure.
Third world country. What I mean by third world is Africa, Kenya, and all these other places. They're actually doing better than a lot of places now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if we're going to become a third world. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. But it gets to the point, it's really dumbfounding on how many people would actually kill you because they're thinking you're unpatriotic when you're actually being patriotic.
Yeah, when it's the total opposite, and they've been
brainwashed
into believing otherwise, so it's really the opposite. They think you're unpatriotic when it's really the other way around.
Yeah, I don't know how many times, and millions, well not millions, but thousands of people could vouch for me, what I've done for this community.
Yeah.
Same with you. And what's sad about it is, to each is their own, but you gotta find the truth. I'm a person that I don't care. I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I'm just a person that I want what's best for the country at that time period. I want to look at all the facts and figure it out.
Yeah. So by all means, look at Loose Change and weigh all the evidence in that video for yourself, and look up some other stuff too. Don't just worry about the video. Look up your own and find your own evidence. Look
at what thermite consists of. Look what the beams, and there's actually videos on how New York, the actual Twin Towers were built.
Yeah.
And if you really think the way that they built it, they actually reinforced it. Okay. Yep. If you really think that it came down by a plane, by all means, have at it.
Yeah, here's another example of how ridiculous that is. In the 1930s or whatever it was, a plane actually crashed into the top of the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Now this is way back then, when the olden days.
It was made out of good material too.
Yeah, and so that plane crashed, and it burned for so many hours, and then nothing. They just repaired it and all that. There was some other planes in other countries that actually showed in Loose Change where a plane hit the top, and this is more modern, like 80s or 90s, a plane hit the top of this building, and it burned for 14 hours, and it went out, and they repaired it. And nothing. And it's kind of, I love that. This is one of my favorite parts of the video. They say that, they gave a couple other examples where this other building burned for I think one was 24 hours and finally went out, and, they got the fire to go out and repaired the building and all that stuff. They said 3 times in the history of the world has 3 skyscrapers fallen down from a plane hitting them.
When was that?
First was on September 11th, 2001, in the morning. One of the towers was hit.
Okay.
The second time in history was the second Twin Tower was hit at a later time and collapsed.
The third?
The third time was that same day. The Tower 7 collapsed from fire.
Wow.
Only 3 times in history have 3 skyscrapers collapsed due to a burning fire.
What are the odds?
What are the odds of that?
Yeah.
Has the Twin Towers, has the World Trade Center been able to defy the laws of physics? 3 buildings in one day are the only 3 in the history to collapse because of a fire.
Yeah.
Come on.
Doesn't make sense. post your comments.